talk Karofsky. Go.
Did you say?
Damn it, Karofsky. Damn it.
Karofsky.
Karofsky,
First song
yes.
on an episode that got over 26 million.
Zordon's calling me.
Do you want to take that again?
Yeah. What up, Glee lovers? We're here to talk about the post-Super Bowl episode of Glee.
What we liked, what we didn't, and everything in between. Okay.
So let's talk Karofsky.
Okay, I had a big issue with the Karofsky storyline at first because I felt like everyone was a little too quick to accept him back. I realized that Schuster kind of made everybody, but then he got really into Glee, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the cliche. At the end, he really isn't a changed person. It's going to be Karofsky. I know a lot of fans would have been like super angry at the whole Karofsky-Kurt storyline. Should this all be resolved in one episode? It's not going to happen. But then at the end, when Finn told Karofsky, like, you can come work at Glee if we go apologize to Kurt, I was like, oh, they were under the impression that Karofsky had changed, idiots. But, like, they thought he had. So the way they handled it was okay. I know a lot of people love Max Adler, who plays Karofsky. Like, kudos to him.
You know, in contrasting, I agree with you, and the whole, you know, it getting resolved in one episode, which, you know, people were really afraid of that. I actually liked the fact that they took a character that was so hated by so many people, and they made him a little bit more likable. Even just for a minute, he was able to open up, and you saw a little bit more of him that might shine through later in the season. That's definitely something to look forward to, and I think that, you know, even though Kurt wasn't a part of it, and I hated that too, it was really cool to see some new people doing musical numbers as well, rather than just the same old Glee club, and it was cool to see a form of unity, and that was the whole thing, even, you know, as idealistic as it was.
Let's talk about Kurt's absence from this huge episode.
Okay, so, obviously we all miss him being, you know, back more in the spotlight. It's only been, you know, granted, like 3 or 4 episodes since his transition, but he's had significantly less screen time, and for the Kurt fans, it's been kind of killer only having him, you know, like, in maybe 5 minutes tops during the whole episode. But what I liked about this one is that he was in it some, not a lot, but there was a lot of story with the original Glee Club, and it was actually, like, his presence was unnoticed, but it wasn't unbearable.
Definitely.
And it was really nice to see them actually carry, not to say that Kurt carries that show for me, because he doesn't, but this season...
Who are you talking to?
This season, he had a lot more storylines that led the progression, and the fact that they were able to, you know, do an episode which I think had, you know, some substance, rather than just some of the, you know, the standalones, I think that it was really good, and, you know, bravo to them for making more of the other characters, you know, shine.
Definitely.
So, let's talk Thriller.
Okay, this is a hard topic for me to talk about, because I knew all the hype going into this song, this performance, and when I first heard they were going to do Thriller, I was like, oh, you know, this episode got over 26 million viewers, like, I hope they don't mess it up, not that they would, but you gotta be careful with for someone as big as Michael Jackson. The song, to me, was a little bit overproduced. It was a huge performance. I think it comes back to where a lot of fans have problems with Glee Season 2, is that it's this big, overproduced thing. Whereas, like, if this had happened last year, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. With that said, the vocals were good. I'm glad Artie got to sing. Kevin McHale rocked it. I would have had it any other way, and I love Santana's voice, so throwing her in the Heads Will Roll was perfect. But I wasn't as much of a fan as everybody else was. And I know how much hard work went into it, but it fell a little short for me. Not because of high expectations, just because it was a little too huge, you know, a little too big, even for a post-Super Bowl episode.
And I think, you know, the issue with this song is, you know, you can tell they put a lot of hard work into it, so we're not even going to go there and say that it was not well done. The thing, though, is that listening to it, I didn't feel like it was Michael Jackson that I was listening to. I mean, honestly, obviously, you know, it was Glee's cover, but, you know, like, whenever you don't get much bigger than Michael Jackson in the music industry, so whenever they're going to try to do a song that big and that iconic, you know, they have to really know what they're doing, and they have to really make it stand out. And it sort of just fell short to me. You know, just my opinion. I think that, you know, whenever Glee covers big songs like that, they should try to do the ones that they know they can nail and own it, rather than raising the bar way high and then falling short of perfect. So,
but we still loved it.
Yes, it was still
Thumbs
really
up
good, though.
to Glee. So our favorite quote from the night. Go.
Okay, so mine was the very last line of the episode, made by one Sue Sylvester, when she looked at Katie Couric in the eye and said, "I hate you, Diane Sawyer." And that, to me, was the perfect way to end that episode, summing up exactly how Sue was feeling the entire time, and completely got her wrong, mind you, and it was just genius.
Definitely. Mine, of course, is a Kurt quote. No duh. Those are my favorite quotes of the series. Yeah. When he was with the girls and Blaine at the coffee house, and he said, "Blaine and I love football. Well, Blaine loves football. I love scarves." Like, that was totally Kurt to me, and I loved every second of it. So that was what we thought of the post-Super Bowl Glee.
And we're going to have, more episodes up about other things. We're not just a Glee-oriented show. And, yeah, so I guess we'll see you next time, and we'll talk about something else.
Bye.
Bye.